In chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that anger and hatred are the greatest enemies of man. How to control anger in a situation where there is a question of justice. For example, when Draupadi was humiliated in front of the Pandavas, how to control anger toward the sin and the sinner in situations like this. So Mayurbai has raised an example from the Mahabharata, which we won't go into in detail, but it's an example, a situation of an evil act, an unjust act, an act predicated upon nothing other than malice, meanness. Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, just due to Duryodhana's anger and rage and ego and all of that not fun stuff, gets, or is attempted to get, disrobed in the court. How do we deal with anger toward the sin and toward the sinner, and hatred? Anger in and of itself is not an evil. Anger can be a great catalyst. You know, many people have this vision of spirituality as that it dulls you, and spiritual people should just be really, really mellow and slow and, you know, kind of with our feet a few meters above the earth, and whatever happens, it doesn't impact us, and okay, kill all the Jews, kill the blacks, kill the Hindus, no problem. That's not actually the highest experience or manifestation of spirituality. This is repression. This is pushing life away. This is like, there's a very wonderful Buddhist meditation teacher in America named Jack Kornfield, who speaks a lot about how easy it is to be peaceful and to be calm. He had lived in a monastery for many years and then moved back to America, and how easy it is to be calm until you have to go back and talk to your parents. How easy it is to be peaceful and loving and experience loving kindness when you're living in a monastery compared to living in a house with a spouse and in-laws and parents and whatnot, or traffic or paying the bills. But that's not the goal. So it's not about how do we become anger-free, so whatever happens, no problem. Genocide, holocausts, terrorism, violence against women, environmental destruction, no problem. It's all an illusion. It's okay. That's not the goal. The goal is freedom. Freedom to act. What most of us do is we react. So you say something, it makes me angry, I react, I slap you. Or should I be a different sort? You make me angry, I punch my hand through a wall. So I've injured myself, not you. Or I go home and I beat my kid because I couldn't talk back to you, you're my boss or something. And so I go home and I take it out on my wife or my kid or my employee. It's all a reaction. The purpose of life is to act, not to react. And these days, sadly, with our social media and everything that we just keep getting busier and busier, It's just more and more things that we react to. And if you actually look at our lives from when we wake up to when we go to sleep, how many of us make lists of things that we're going to do that day or the next day or that week? And then the day is over or the week is over. We've been super busy, nonstop, but nothing on our list got done. And you sit there and you scratch your head and you think, but I haven't stopped. Haven't sat in the jacuzzi, haven't had a manicure, haven't, sat in bed painting my toenails. It's not like I've been idle. What's happened? Why did nothing get done on my list? And the reason is because all of these other things that life gives us, an email, a phone call, an SMS, a this, a that, and we react to it. So we're reacting instead of acting. That's where the problem comes. That's where we've lost our freedom. I had made a decision today that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But the day ran away from me because this email came, that message came, this phone call came. So I've had to just react. With anger, if anger can be a catalyst toward action. So injustice makes me angry. Violence makes me angry. Not in a reactive way, not in a way that makes me slap you or beat my kid or punch my fist through a wall, but just in a way that there's an energy in me. There's an energy that's moving, that's saying, do something. Serve, respond. If your arm itches, you're going to scratch it. It's not a bad thing to do. The arm is the self. If you cut yourself and it bleeds, your arm's going to immediately go there to stop the bleeding. It's self. If our response to injustice is the response of something is not right, do something. And it's a catalyst for action. It's great. There is nothing wrong with emotions. There is nothing wrong with passion, with desires, with all of these things, as long as we are able to experience them in freedom rather than being slaves to them. Desires are only a problem when I am a slave to it and I have to eat the chocolate cake, have the beer, whatever I'm doing, buy this thing. I wasn't going to buy it. I was on a budget, but I wanted it so badly. I had no choice. I've lost my freedom there. There's nothing wrong with chocolate cake as long as I've made a free, conscious decision to eat it and enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with shopping. I've made a decision, I'm going to go, I'm going to buy something. By all means, sure, why not? The only problem comes when I didn't have a choice. And so anger, when I don't have a choice, I'm the first victim of that anger then. Then that anger, instead of being an energy that says, do something, is a fire that burns me. There's a beautiful saying that says, getting angry when somebody hurts you is like saying, they've made a mistake and so I'm going to punish myself. Duryodhana did something evil. I am now going to punish myself by burning with anger inside. Doesn't solve the situation, doesn't impact Duryodhana, doesn't protect Draupadi, doesn't make sure that that situation never happens. All it does is burn me. It's useless. But anger that's a catalyst to action, that inside of us says, this isn't right. This is injustice. That's a very powerful motivator. And there's a lot of things going on in the world that we really should be angry about. That in fact, we should be much more worried if we're not angry about them than if we are angry about them. But our losing control into the anger doesn't serve anything. Doesn't help our world, doesn't help us. But being able to sit with the anger and acknowledge it's there because there is something that's happening, that's not right, that's not in alignment with truth, and recognizing that with my actions I actually can be a vehicle for change. That there's an energy in the universe that wants to set it right. I mean, this is what Krishna tells us. Whenever there is darkness in the world, I incarnate to bring back the light. Whenever there is a dharma, I incarnate to bring back the dharma. Well, he doesn't say, and I only incarnate in this form or that form, and if I don't have my flute, you can be pretty sure it's not me.